groundbreaking health policy to deploy drones in carrying out emergency health services. A lot of eyebrows have been raised. People have asked whether this is a top priority for us in a situation where we still have the no bed syndrome, people dying as a result of lack of oxygen. Why should a third world country heavily invest in drones? To give us some context to this discussion, I have to my immediate right a member of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health and also MP for Dafiama Buzi Isa, Honorable Dr. Sebastian Sandari. Honorable, thank you so much for making time. And then to give us the perspective of the Ghana Health Service that is championing this program, we have spokesperson or public relations officer for the service, Douglas Idufuku. Doug, thank you so much, Douglas, for making time. Honorable, I'll begin with you. Maybe not with you, with the PRO. Douglas, many people have expressed bewilderment at the idea that your service, the Ghana Health Service, would okay such a robust policy to deploy drones, and people have questioned the level of preparedness we have as a country. What went into this policy decision?
You know, first of all, let me say hi to your viewers. Indeed, we've been hearing so many remarks and also submissions made by the public. That tells you that indeed democracy is at its peak in the country here, and we do appreciate it. You know, the country, not only Ghana, but even the World Health Organization in general, currently is now focusing on primary health care and universal health care. There have been so many instances whereby, well, I have been a practitioner before, I mean, becoming a PRO, so when I'm talking about issues, I have the practicality aspect of it because I've been there before. There are issues sometimes when you go to a hospital facility, you're a patient, and there'll be stock out of some essential medicines. When you talk of essential medicines, you talk of your salbutamol. When somebody's having asthma, come to the hospital, you have to get it. These things can get stock out, and when it's that way, it means you have to refer the patient or go ask the patient relative to go around and get some to buy. There are instances whereby patients lose their lives because of this issue, because of stock out. There are other instances too whereby there is issues with accessibility because of road networks and other things. These issues cannot be addressed just at a go. We can't use 1 year to fix all the roads in the country, because everything depends on the budgets that we have. It depends on the country's revenue that we have. So at the moment, what do? Because as we speak now, 30% of maternal mortality cases is due to bleeding. And in 2016, our data, anemia was among the first 4 causes of death, the highest ones. First 4. So in view of this, authorities put their heads together. That's it. Let's do something. We heard of Rwanda. They set a team, a committee, including the Civil Aviation, the Ministry of Health, the National Ambulance. They made some delegations to Rwanda to make a study there and see how this thing can be adopted. Not only Rwanda, Malawi, Ethiopia, and even next year, United Kingdom is also adopting it. So I think it's a cost-effective way.
Okay. Douglas speaks for the Ghana, Health Service. Honorable, you are privileged because from where you sit on the select committee, you have access to some privileged information about the state of our health facilities. And Douglas says because of inaccessibility and the emergency or essential services that need to be provided, and sometimes some of these remote hospitals run out of supplies. Doesn't it make sense that we use drones?
Right, thank you very much, and I say hi to my constituents watching me from Dafiama Buzi Isa constituency. and to all Ghanaians.
Sir.
The issue of using drones to provide medical or to deliver emergency medical commodities, including blood. Where I sit, I think that the policy, the government didn't think through it, and that's where we have the challenge. See, any policy you are bringing must take into consideration the prevailing problems, issues.
Yes, sir.
And if you look at the drone policy, there's that mismatch now. Not that in the future it may not be good, but we have so many pressing health needs that I thought that this government, and therefore the Vice President Bawumia, who is championing this drone thing, should have considered the prevailing issues and see, can we address them? And what are these issues? That if you are involved in an accident or you are a mine village somewhere, it's a Vieto or Kamahelo, and there's an emergency, the worry is, how do you evacuate this client to the nearest hospital? That is where we are now, because we don't have ambulances. He mentioned stock outs. That is management problem that you don't need drones to solve. Why should there be stock out? And if drones, we bring drones, is it the drones that will procure these essential medicines to prevent stock out? Definitely no. You go to hospital, currently as we sit, many of the medicines that you need, emergency medicines for that matter, you don't get. It's not about drones. It's about the fact that leadership is not giving of the people of this country. Put it another way, if you ask Ghanaians to choose between ambulances, to choose between CHIPS compounds, to choose between more infrastructure, more equipment, and choosing between this and drones, I believe from the discussion, these days, you realize that everybody thinks that it's a misplaced priority. Not that bringing drones, it's a new technology. And as we grow, as we advance, you need to embrace technology. But what is facing Ghana currently, as far as health problems are concerned, it's not about drones. And let me give an example. You mentioned 30% of our maternal mortality being due to hemorrhage, that is bleeding. That is true. So you are bringing drones to do what? I will really analyze why these mothers die during bleeding. On the surface, it will look that, oh, is it because there's no blood available? So you want a drone to pick a blood from point A. I'm from Upper West. Maybe the center may be in Tamale. For a drone to move from Tamale to bring just 1 pint of blood from Tamale to, let's say, a health center in Issa or Dafiama. Not the cause or the lack of the blood is not necessarily the cause of this maternal death. The woman bleeding there at that remote area is faced with a challenge where the facility or the community the woman is bleeding, they don't have the necessary skills, the capacity to handle that woman. So even if you pick a pint of blood from Tamale to Issa Health Center, that woman will still die, because the question is, what is causing the bleeding? The poor midwife wife at Issa Health Center, what can she do at that place to arrest the bleeding? Either a vessel, a blood vessel is ruptured, something is happening. That is why the woman is bleeding. So you have to tackle the cause of the bleeding, even as you take attempts to give blood. If not, if the woman is bleeding, you don't have the capacity to arrest the bleeding, and you put on blood. It's like pouring water. It goes away. So these are the critical issues that we are talking about. Why don't we provide more CHIPS compounds, provide more district hospitals, equip the hospitals to be able to procure their own emergency drugs, get their own blood? That is where the discussion is. And then considering the value for money, the amount that is going and what we are getting, is there value for money, coupled with security risk of having drones flying our,
space
and my people in the village see a small aeroplane and they don't know whether it's a bird or it's an aeroplane. All these are issues that
Dr. Sebastian Sandare is a member of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health. And Douglas, the Honorable MP says, aren't we majoring in minors and neglecting the majors?
Well, I think that is his view. And it's so surprising that he was saying many people I think that is a misplaced priority. I want to put it on to him. What research has he done? What statistics is he having to tell us that there is no, there's people are thinking, or majority of people are thinking that is a misplaced priority. That is his view, but it's not any statistical evidence to prove that that's what the people think. The people out there need explanation, and that's what we are doing. They need information, because some people have misinformed them.
Okay.
And it's not only applied to this particular drone. Even the yellow fever that just ended, we had information. Some regions, I don't want to put out the particular region, where people were misinforming them that the yellow fever vaccination is going to make them impotent and then infertile. See, this is health issues, and we should desist from politics, political gains and other things. He's talking of ambulance issue here. We have issues whereby ambulance cars that are available are termed as cargo cars. We can't use them. We have to now procure new ones. Aren't we costing financial loss because of history? What if a particular government was there and was able to procure ambulance vehicles with the requisite tools and equipment? Would Ghanaians will still be complaining of ambulance services? Wouldn't we have used the money for different things altogether? Now, just last week, they had a meeting and they are trying to even retrieve the money from the supplier, because the supplier hasn't done anything. You bring cargo cars with empty, no equipment. Ministry of Health is trying to do that. Let me put that aside. I don't want to even go there. You made mention that leadership is not giving attention to the healthcare service. That is totally a fallacy. We have issues in the country.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget that in the health sector, we have 6 good units, blocking 6 blocking units, or 6 system blocks, let me put it that way. And you have to manage all these system blocks if you want to improve the health sector. Talking of service delivery, talking of the human resource, talking of the medical equipment, talking of the policy making, talking of finances, and everything. And within each unit, you have to make sure that you set priorities within each unit. You are talking of building CHIPS compounds. Nobody is against that. The government is still doing it. When there's money, definitely we put out this CHIPS compound. And don't forget that CHIPS compound is community-based. At times, maybe he hasn't done much about. Well, maybe he has done, but I presume, because if he knows, he wouldn't have been saying that. We don't give attention to that. But don't forget that CHIPS compound should be community-owned. The community should have that sense of ownership. And at times, if you go in much to give monies and other things, you influence, especially the community health workers, who are supposed to stand in for the communities, report to them. We can back up, we can support with some basic logistics and the rest. But in terms of even building, the DCEs do that in consultation. Everyone, even if it's going to be a donation, they do it in consultation with us. So we all have a priority to embark on. He is an MP. He can even decide to also own up and use his allowances to also build one or set up for his community. About 5. If by now he has been able to set up 5 for his community, I mean, we would have given him applaud here. Let me finish.
Douglas, a sec. It's good there is consensus around the table to find out how efficient such a delivery service is supposed to be. I wouldn't want you to dwell too much as someone in charge of the communications of the Ghana Health Service on some of the banter politicians are engaging in. So a drone, take the ordinary Ghanaian through the process. The drones Ghanaians know are drones used in shooting musical videos. Are we expecting bigger drones? Will they be unmanned, or there would be a pilot? What would be the landing and then lifting center, so to speak, for the northern part of the country and the southern half? What will go into this drone service delivery for the health sector?
Honestly, the drone that we are going to, the project that we are going to have, will have 4 distribution centers.
Okay.
And then the distribution centers, we are even giving priority to the northern of Ghana and then the southern parts. And these 4
yes, sir.
Distribution centers.
Yes, sir.
That's where we are going to have the storage. They have a storage department where they receive the calls, where the drugs are being also reserved. They have all the department there. So what you have to do is that when you're a midwife, maybe you're at Bongo Hospital and there's somebody dying, the person as a result of bleeding, because when somebody is having bleeding, you don't see at that moment you are going to solve the cause of the bleeding. I mean, maybe what contributed to the bleeding. You arrest the hemorrhage, but apart from arresting the hemorrhage, and then the HB, the hemoglobin level is low. You don't see you arresting the hemorrhage and that's all. You need to transfuse blood, because something blood transfusion. You have to transfuse the blood to balance or make sure that the HB level is within the average in order to save life. So you make a call instead of maybe you don't have it, so you have to refer the patient with challenges in terms of maybe transportation. You just make sure you place their call, just a simple call, or even WhatsApp. They are also going to create them.
No. Dwell on that.
Good.
So this midwife places a call.
Exactly.
Bongo Hospital is under distress. What happens?
So you give the information that you have a patient. You need blood pints. This number of blood pints. The blood group is maybe negative. Is blood O, and maybe the resource factor is maybe negative. So all this information will be requested by the pharmacist or lab technician at the distribution center.
Okay. So
then once you do that, they will just pack it, and then they'll hit the drone. The drone is electronic.
And mind you, the pharmacist is not a technical person in operating a drone.
The pharmacist, lab technician. No, they are going to be trained. Even the country director, for the zipline, is a pharmacist who has been trained in the management of the zipline drone. So they are all going to be trained. That's capacity building. Okay. And this is going to create employment for about 200 Ghanaians. Those with engineering background, those with who are lab technicians, those who are pharmacists, and the likes. And they're going to be trained in the management of the zipline. So it will be like they have the 2 skills at the same time, the professional one and the zipline operation. So he will check everything and make sure they pack it and label it nicely. The name of the patient, the blood group, the hospital is going to, and everything. And then within some few minutes, less than an hour, it can be 30 minutes, it can be 20 minutes, it can be 15 minutes. It has to be there. So something that you use maybe 3 hours to get.
I am a security person. We know of drones. There needs to be a command and control center. Before you deploy a drone, a lot of command and control instructions and signals are given. How effective are the coordinates we have, the GPS coordinates, so that a novice, someone who trained at KDUSC as a pharmacist, has been given a 2 or 3 week orientation? How can he locate the coordinates to shoot whatever supplies that will be needed at Bongo Hospital or a medical facility there?
No, they are working with the zipline operators. Okay. So there's an operator aside these professionals. These professionals will make sure that they get the particular type of blood.
The supplies needed.
But there are also operators who are with the zipline company. So they know all these things because we've been doing it already in Rwanda.
If you did the cost-benefit analysis, this is the last question, so I go to the Honorable MP and come back. Getting people that are technical people, and drones don't run on kerosene, with all due respect. very, very expensive, gadgets. Wouldn't it have been better if we had a better, traditional delivery system, so that a few miles away from Bongo, there is a place where an ambulance, as soon as you receive a distress call, can easily, despite how bad the roads are. And if you have 6 months supply of blood, you can't complain that after a week you've run out, to necessitate the use of a drone. Wouldn't we have looked at the basics and consolidated them, rather than thinking American when we've not become Americans yet?
We are not just thinking of Americans.
Okay.
Rwanda is not American country. It's not America.
Okay.
Malawi is not America. Ethiopia is not America.
Okay.
So don't go in that line.
Okay.
You see, we are not buying drones.
Okay.
We are paying for the services.
So the drones will be here on lease
for 4 years. It's a 4-year contract that we've signed, which after that, based on evaluation, whether positive, negative, challenges, whatsoever, it will call for review. If we have to extend it, it will be extended. So we are not anyone who will tell anybody that Ghana is going to buy drones. It's a fallacy. Besides, even the cost of the funding, we are not just going to rely on government. GNPC and other petroleum, other civil societies are coming on board.
So GNPC is pumping some money into this, and then CSOs don't have money. Civil society organizations do advocacy. Or are you talking about donor funding from Europe or from the US?
Not from US, not from Europe.
World Health Organization is pumping some money.
GNPC has a social responsibility. We have other petroleum organizations, don't we?
Okay, we do. And
Tullow and the like, don't we? We've sent letters to them, all of them.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. When I went to Japan, the National Lottery Authority has been able to purchase a $1.8 million X-ray van for Kagoshima Prefecture. So we can't see, you are here, you don't know the accounts of they are running. So you can't tell me that you don't have the money.
Yeah, I mean, nobody is disputing that, Douglas. What quantum, and this could be your final, words before we go to the Honorable MP. How much is GNPC pumping into this?
For now,
you don't have the
For now, I don't
numbers.
have it.
Okay.
But I know they are part of those who are going to support us.
Okay, Douglas, quite eloquent. Thank you so much. Honorable MP.
Right,
And Douglas says he's a professional. He can only communicate details from his superiors to the good people of Ghana. Why try to bastardize an otherwise lofty idea that would resolve some of our health challenges?
Right, thank you very much. And you realize that I just relaxed for him to make his points instead of reacting to him, because we are here to discuss issues. And I presented views that, because as an MP, you are representing constituents, and therefore you are expressing their views. But let me...
But he says you have no statistical evidence.
Let me say, I'm coming to that.
You don't have numbers.
I'm coming to that. Well, he doesn't know because we are just meeting here. But I'm not just speaking only as a member of parliament. I'm speaking as a medical doctor who practiced in the remote area for over 10 years, and therefore I know what can save the life of a woman bleeding in a district hospital or a woman bleeding at the CHIPS compound. As a medical doctor, if they call you, a woman is delivering and bleeding, the first thing is not to be calling for blood. You must have the capacity to examine and to establish why is this woman bleeding. And that's why I use the example of the empty bottle. You can set up blood, but that's not even the first thing. You need IV fluids, normal saline, so that this woman does not get any shock. Then, where is the woman bleeding from? You must tackle that. Then you give blood. In the process, you can still give blood. But what I'm saying is that if a woman is bleeding and the midwife is sitting there waiting for blood to come from a drone center, say Tamale, trust me, by the time the blood gets to that chief's compound or district hospital, that pregnant mother or the woman that has just delivered will be dead. That is the point I'm making. And I don't think I have spoken anything against bringing drones as a technology in principle. No, since I started. I'm only using timing and prioritizing where the needs of the country are many. We need ambulances, we need chiefs compounds, we need district hospitals equipped with medical officers, midwives, other equipment that will enable medical personnel to intervene. That's the direction we're going. Then you tell me that you are bringing drones. So when a woman is bleeding in a chief's compound, the midwife takes a phone, texts or calls the drone center. I have this woman bleeding. She needs blood. I mean, if she has been to theater, and you have seen how a woman bleeds, sometimes after delivery, it's not just bleeding, it's pouring, like how you open tap. So let's take the critical decisions that will save life. And I feel sad, but I respect his views. But having practiced in Ghana Health Service for over 10 years, I just left there 2 years ago. I can say on authority that what he's saying does not represent the views of Ghana Health Service. But I respect him, that's their PRO. So he's trying to, come out with the views of Ghana Health Service. But trust me, the Director General of Ghana Health Service will not make the argument the way he's making. Because that's not the position. We have taken this country, I'm coming.
MP.
We have taken this country.
Honorable.
Okay.
You're a fine gentleman, and the gentleman too is a fine burden, spokesperson for the service. I can tell it's a Herculean job.
Yes.
But for you to say his views don't represent the views of his bosses, I think you would be imperiling his job. So maybe you would rather say, in your interactions, especially the Select Committee in Parliament on Health interacts with the Ghana Health Service as well.
Yes.
So are your views the views of your constituents, or you are saying his views don't represent the views of his bosses?
I put forward the views of my constituents. And he says, I don't know what I'm saying. He didn't even know I'm a medical doctor by profession. But I kept quiet just to give him, because like I said, it's not the two of us. This one talks, this one gives, and that reaction. No, there's an issue that is very critical to this country, and we are discussing that. And my position is that, yes, the technology is not a bad idea, but there are fundamental problems in this country that we need to handle. Even if we are bringing drones, we should be seeing in our policy discussion forward, how are we tackling the issue of ensuring equitable access to health service delivery in this country. And the point, as a PRO of Ghana Health Service, you should know that Ghana has moved from centralization to decentralization, where we are now as a service. We're at the community level, level A. That's why we have CHIPS, the community-based health planning and services. And you can find out it is one intervention that has helped this country to reduce maternal mortality. So any discussion that is not telling Ghanaians how we are scaling up CHIPS compounds, even if you want to bring drones, you are not telling Ghanaians the truth, because the CHIPS compound, people have come from Kenya, everywhere, to study. So if you are talking about drones, how many CHIPS compounds do you want to build? So that when your drones come, and you even want to send a vaccine to a CHIPS compound, that drone can go to the CHIPS compound. Okay. That's the point I'm making. And if you do the cost benefit analysis, because this is an intervention they are bringing. And you must prove to Ghanaians that it is something that will work, it is something that will save lives, it is something that at the end of the day, we won't start it and it will collapse. When he started the steps in the drone process, what did he say? The midwife at Bongo Hospital, I would have used the Fiona Health Center, but let me use Bongo Hospital. The midwife has to initiate a process of getting to the distribution center or the drone center in this country. And if you want, we can put it to test. Let me bring out my phone. Give me your number. Let me even try you in Accra. They will tell me that we are sorry, the number you are trying does not exist. You are sitting there within you. Or it cannot be reached. Meanwhile, both of us are here. Have we tackled that problem of connectivity that will enable this woman at Bongo, assuming there's no service at Bongo? In the agreement, in the document, in all the argument that the Director General, the Vice President, he himself is making, we haven't seen them addressing this issue of difficulty in accessing, mobile communication service. It's a gap. Nobody's talking about that. But it's a basic problem that if you don't handle it, your drone center will sit there in Tamale. This poor midwife is struggling with a pregnant woman bleeding. She cannot get access to the center. Is it not an issue? So that's why I'm saying that basic things, then we add on. I am not against drone. I'm looking at the timing and where we are as a country. Let me talk about what a bold policy should do. You see, under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, there was a bold policy to build over 2,000 chips compounds. They say they don't exist because they don't look for them to even complete. But one bold policy I saw when I was a medical officer practicing in Laura was that a policy instruction came that every year, every district assembly should commit resources to build at least 2 chips compounds. Why that? Because he realized that infrastructure